Okay, for anyone who hasn't done perico before, this is the entire island. So you start up here and then you work your way down, but when you first start, you start off here at the party and you gotta like sneak out. Now what I like to do is, this is the best scoping out ever, is if you scope out down here, if you watch my videos then you'll know where to scope out, but if you haven't, then this is the location right here where this purple mark is that I'm flashing. If you go there on a boat, or by swimming, but I prefer doing a boat. If you don't know where you want to get a boat from, go to the main docks, which is here, and there'll be some boats, and then just be aware that there might end up being a guard about here, if there is or isn't. If there is, then be careful, because it can catch you. Don't go under any of these cameras, because it will catch you as well. And then just grab one, drive all the way around. It doesn't take all that long, and then all you gotta do is just sit about here, and then that way you'll be able to get the cutting torch and then going through that entrance there. Now the demolition charges would blow up the main doors if you go onto the mainland, and if you like it loud, go in there loud and all guns blazing, then by all means do that, but I like to do it silent and stealthy, which I'm pretty sure majority of you do. Like to do it nice and stealthy, because that way you lose almost nothing to nothing. Now where I'm going right now is I'm just checking out for these little treasure chests. It happens all over the island. You get 2 per day, and so far at the moment I haven't seen one, but that's not the main part. Now you can scope out here if you come like anywhere about here really. You just like whip out your phone, take a photograph. If you haven't scoped this out already, this is also a entrance point for a landing, which if you use the annihilator, stealth annihilator helicopter, and you steal that along with doing the pilot mission on top of that to take you there. But for the secondary targets, I would suggest following me, and then you come into this building right here, and then you don't always get what I get, which is weed and cash, or sometimes it's cocaine. It just depends. When you're scoping out, as you can see, there is a lock because there's something in there. Do not worry about this white guy, because the white dot is friendly, it's fine. So you just scope out with your phone. So you just do this, whip out your phone, go over to it, press X, and then it will say send to Pavel, and then you just press square, and then sometimes it'll just get, if it's your first time scoping, then if it's your very first scoping out, then it'll take you straight down to Pavel, and then just click X, and then you come into here after this, and then you scope out what's on the bottom. So you get your phone out again, and then you get that one, send that one to Pavel, and then, because usually after the first one you just click X to take a photo, and then just press square, and then it automatically sends it faster, and do the same with that one. And then there's 2 ways of scoping out the top. You can either reverse back with a bike and take a photograph, and the same with the other side as well, which is you come about here and you can do the same. Or there's also another 2 more ways actually. Now just around here there are some ladders, So you can come up here and then scope it out like so, or you can then, yes, you can just jump down there because it's not that far, or you can then just press square onto here and then press square again, and then it will get you to climb up. Now what I recommend doing is practicing using the forklift, which, if you don't know what that is, it's this thing over here. Make sure it's working order, which this one is. So what I recommend doing is just practicing using those forks, and then to get it into here, use your left thumbstick to bring it up, reverse with L2, bring it up to the max height, and then turn, put it in line, so it's roughly about there. Because if you want to get the bottom and the top, then you just do it from there. So then you come to the back, press square, then press square again, and then you press square once again, and then boom, if you have the cutting torch, you'll be able to do that bit there, and then you just press square onto here, up to here, and then boom. If you haven't used a forklift before, I would suggest practicing this maneuver, because that will help you tremendously. So I would suggest like practicing that particular maneuver. Now there's two bikes in this section, so when you come here there should be a bike sitting right here, and then, which is what I got, and then there'll be a bike just up here and to the left. It falls over, but you can still get it. And then there are additional locations where you can scope out as well, which is the communications tower when it tells you to. Then there's this section here, which is where you'll hear the famous saying of, this is where you can turn the lights off, lights and camera off, but you don't need to do that at all, because there'd usually be a either a camera here or not. It doesn't matter, you can just, if there's a camera there, shoot it. There'll always be a guy coming down, so try and aim for his head, it's always best, because it'll be like coming down here, and then it'll come here, you'll get to roughly here, and then turn around, and then it'll like stop here for a moment and then turn. At that point shoot him first before the camera, and there will sometimes be, not all the time, but sometimes there'll be a camera. You see where this light is above this particular door? Just to the left there'd usually be a camera there facing in this direction. It's a moving camera, so it'll go from there to up here. Now there's always a guard up here. What I like to do is I like to snipe this guard. You don't have to scope out any additional like clothing and things if you want to use the boat.
Guard uniforms, a useful disguise. It will not be perfect, but could get you out of difficult situation. I will make note of location.
And so that's that bit sorted out. Now this is where I like to go, so I'm just going to take a trip over there real quick and I shall show you. So you just basically like follow me basically. Try not to go like too fast, because there are like bushes that will stop you. And things like that, like so. Get over, come up here. Now watch out for the guard on the tower, so you keep an eye on your mini-map. And then what you gotta do is if you come about here, pop a wheelie, and then you're good to go. So you're up and over, no problem. Keep to the left hand side. Now sometimes there is a guard just here, and sometimes there isn't. Just keep an eye on your mini-map. Just go around him. And then you'll get to the communications tower. Sometimes there is a car which would then be coming up and down this particular road, so watch out for that. The cars will look like this, that's moving, so make sure you keep an eye out for that. Now you've got to watch out for the electric section. Now the electric section is this, where you have to hack. If there's no guard here, which a guard would usually be just in front of here, right there. If there's a guard there, then your electric tower will be what's classed as upstairs. And if there's no guard there, then it'll be downstairs. So it'll either be in one of two locations, which would be where mine is right now, or right here. Now, when you get the ones up top, when there's a guard about there, then it's not the first floor, it's the second floor, which you see that little balcony on the right hand side, it'll be there, or right at the top where that flashing light is, it'll be in those two locations if there's a guard at the bottom of the tower. Now I'm going to take you to the location, like I said earlier, where I scope out, which is pretty easy to do. Just be very careful coming down here. You can make your own way down this way. Do not worry about that cage. That's just additional things, you don't use that at all. That's nothing to do with the heist itself. So you don't really need to scope it out if you don't want to. It's not a mandatory thing. Now, sometimes there's a guard going across, so I do not use the bike, but here's where I mean. In this particular location, so it's right here, and then you just there's two tables, you just scope out there as well, and then you're good. Make sure you scope out as much as you can in the easiest locations. Now with this one, during the heist, if you choose to do this route, then I would suggest shooting the guy, which will be coming up here. They'll like stop. So what he'll do is he'll come here, and then he'll go right alongside this particular guy, not necessarily him, but someone like him, and then he'll turn around and then face downwards. Now what I suggest you do is you come roughly about here with your pistol, and then shoot the guard in the head. Just one bullet. make sure you buy suppressors, which is £5,000. And then what I recommend you doing after that is you continue running down and you press R1 and you come to roughly around here, and then there will be a car to pretty much greet you coming up here. Now if you go straight in here, then you will get caught, because there is a camera. See where this like low lighting area is? It's like circle light. There's a camera around there that faces in this direction, and then so it goes all to the left and to the right. So just be careful of that too. So make sure you're in third person. Wait till the car has gone past until it gets to about there-ish, and then you can then make it move just by doing this, and then go straight in. And then when coming out, I was just shooting the camera, and then you are literally good to go there. Okay, so that's that bit sorted out. Now I usually average around about a minute and a half roughly for that particular section. It is completable to do it in under 15 minutes with the heist, because what I like to do is when you come out of the compound here, I shoot the guy which is here where the motorbike is, so I'll kill him, shoot him in the head, get on the motorbike, turn around, and then I like to come up here and then come up, come to roughly about here-ish, and then get off the bike and then just swim this way. If you swim directly this way, it's a lot faster. It's about 30-40 seconds. If you swim in first person, then you'll swim a hell of a lot faster than what you would in third person, and it will also save you the thumb ache as well. If there is a person up here, then I suggest I park your bike around here and then get off, because otherwise the guard will then hear the bike and then catch you, and then you're back to square one again. And to get around this guy again, just come down here, come around, keep an eye on your mini map, nice and steady along here, just tap the accelerator, come around, and there you are, Delta. And there you are, basically safe. And so, for this section, you do not need to scope this out at all. Don't worry about any of this here. You don't need to scope that out, because that's the part where it will take you over the 15 minutes, especially for your first time. And you don't really want to do that, because yeah, you want that extra money, don't you? So always grab that second loot into the places where I said, and it'll make it a hell of a lot easier on your end. If you don't know how to hack, then hack the panel. What you gotta do is for the top one, make sure that's it, like the smallest one usually, so it's kind of at the top of the fingerprint, and then the second line down onwards, so you put them all to the top of the fingerprint, and then for the second line down it's 2 to the right, sorry, or 1 to the right, sorry, and the second line, the one down from that is 2 to the right, and then from that is 3 to the right, and just keep going like that until you're finished. Sometimes you can just like pretty much guess it, but don't look at the top line where the little squares are, like above the fingerprint, because if you remember 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, remember that, and then you're good to go. And so for the prep missions, I was going to put him in a sec. There we go. Just put the core on him. Now you don't have to have this helicopter. It's called the Sparrow, but if you choose to, then it is up to you, of course. Okay, so for the first heist, you obviously you don't have to pay anything.
Welcome back, Capitan. That was a
So don't worry about what I have.
And you have a tan too, no?
But you'll basically get the gist of it.
Come over
So
to the screen and I will give you the tour.
the approach vehicles, you've got the Kasaka, the Alchemist, the Vellum, the Stealth Annihilator, the Patrol Boat, and the Longfin. I like to go for the Longfin because it's the best. I know the Kasaka would be good for going straight into the compound without a problem, but if you're going to get secondary targets, I was just using the Longfin because you can use that throughout. Now for the equipment, you'd get the, I've got plasma cutter, but you get the security code, the fingerprint cloner, and then if you scoped out down the bottom where I showed you, then you'll get the cutting torch. The cutting torch is the best one to use. Now for the weapon loadout, you got the aggressor, the conspirator, the crack shot, the saboteur, and the marksman. Now crack shot is my best one because I like to use the AP pistol. You do not need to use the Molotov, you don't need to use the knife, and sometimes you need to use the sniper, and it's the only one which has the sniper. So the crack shot is the best one. And then as you see, it says suppressors. Suppressors cost £5,000, so you just pay for those. And then for the disruption, you do not need to do these 3, because these are basically pointless. Like it says here, it's optional. So the weapons, it will reduce them down to like a pistol type of thing, so just like the really worst weapons go in, the armor will be gone off them. And then you've got the air support, so you'll have no air support if you get alerted. Now if you do as correct, you won't need to be alert. You don't need to alert them at all. So there you have it, there's all. Nothing you need to know. If you need to know any more, then crack on, let me know.